Welcome to Vivid Dreams, y'all. Episode 15. Today's story is about a woman that has a dream of a man every night living in her living room, sleeping on her couch, eating her food. But when she woke up, this dream wouldn't go anywhere. So if you guys are into these type of stories, go ahead and smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my 3 to 4 weekly uploads. Alright, y'all, let's get into this vivid dream. This story is about Stacy. Goes home every night. She's a regular type person, worked a lot and barely got much rest, and she also suffered from this thing called sleep apnea. And sleep apnea is like, a person's airway is just messed up and they don't really get the adequate sleep, and they're narcoleptic at that. Sometimes they have a tendency to pass out or just fall asleep at random moments and stuff. But she in her dream would go to sleep every single night, and she had this dream that some man is sleeping in her living room and using her utilities, using her stuff, and every time she wake up, the parts of her dream from the night before will actually come true. She'd go downstairs one day and she opened her refrigerator up and she'll realize like that is not how she left the tomatoes, and it was just small stuff like that. The next day she'll go to sleep, and in her dream she had a dream the man was in the bathroom and shower water running and shaving and stuff, and the next day she'll go to the bathroom and realize like her little utensils and stuff in her medicine cabinet is all out of place, and she's like, maybe it's me, I got sleep apnea and stuff, and then I got all these health issues. Maybe it's because, I'm sleepwalking and I'm doing all this. Even though she knew that wasn't true, she convinced herself that it's true. But things took a turn to the worse after like the third or fourth day of her having this experience, because on the third or fourth day, things started getting a lot more weird. Like, she would unplug the TV before she go upstairs and go to sleep. But then when she get upstairs to go to sleep, she'll think she hear noise in her dream and someone's watching the TV and stuff. And then she'd get back up the next day and she'd go downstairs and get ready for work and stuff. And as she walk past, she'd look down and say, I remember unplugging that TV. And then all of a sudden the TV is plugged back in. And then the day 4, she'd go to work and stuff, and she'll come home and she's tired. And this round she's sitting downstairs, and in her dream, she falls asleep on the couch. In her dream, she feels like some strange, tall, dark-figured man is like standing over her and like putting his hand in her face. And and then after a while, she'd sleep for a while. Then she wake up, and then she wake up pouring in sweat. She look around, nothing's going on. She go upstairs, go in her room, and then she'll lay back down. And when she go back to sleep, it was like everything just started over again. Around, she'd go downstairs and she'll realize like the back door is kind of crocked open, but she was thinking in her head like, I was probably sleepwalking again, and maybe I left the back door open. But again, she convincing herself everything to believe that this is not true. So the next day they would go to this little get together, and she's over there and she's talking to her brothers and stuff. She just funnily, jokingly brought this up, said, I just have some feeling that some man is like, I have this dream every night, some man is in my house and he walks around and he's watching TV. It's almost like he's living there while I'm sleeping at night. And the brother would laugh it off and stuff, say, hi, yeah. But that if you think you're hearing stuff, then maybe you really are. You want me to come check on you sometimes or something? She's like, no, I'm fine. And they kind of blew it off right there. But later on that day, she would go in the house and she realized that her door is still propped open again. And she's like, oh, I must have did it. But then she started looking around. There's some juice missing out the refrigerator. And next round, she go in the bathroom and there's hair shavings on the sink. And she's like, okay, now this seems weird. Am I really dreaming? Am I really doing this? Is it because Brad probably came past the other day or anything like that? She's like, this is when the story gets weird. The story goes from a dream to terrifying. Stacy would go home one night. In this round, as she's walking in her house, she gets stopped by a neighbor, and then the neighbor is gonna say, Stacy, hey, do you have a new gardener or something? She's like, no. She's like, oh, because some man was walking around your house earlier, and he was taking photos and measuring stuff and all this stuff. And I thought you might have had like a gardener, or maybe you might do some yard work or something. And she said, no, not at all. And now she'll tell her brother about this. So her brother goes on full alert, and he's like, maybe you're not dreaming. I mean, I know you have sleep issues and stuff, but maybe it's not a dream. Maybe something really is going on. Maybe it's a sign. He's like, but maybe I ought to come check on you sometimes and stuff. And she said, all right. And at that night, she went to sleep, and she had this really bad dream. I mean, this guy was walking around her house. He was terrorizing. He was throwing stuff, and he was kind of trashing the place. And in her dream, she's having all this. But on the other note, Stacy's brother, Tim's at the house, and he's having a dream at night. In his dream, he would see some crazed man messing with his sister and stuff. But long story short, the dream got so bad that he got up and he said, you know what? I have to go check on Stacy. So he jumps in his car. He goes driving down the street. He goes over to Stacy's property, and what he sees shocks him. Right as he's driving, he sees some guy going across the lawn, and then he hears a phone call, and it's Stacy calling him, and she says, this round, I'm woke, and I hear something. I think there's someone living in my house. I think it's someone downstairs right now. And he said, I had a dream there's something going on. He said, I'm on my way to your house. Like, okay, get here quick. And she's being quiet. So then as the brother pulls up and Tim arrives, he goes around the backside of the bushes. He don't want to be all loud, so he goes around the backside, and he's peeking through the bushes, and he's looking over at her house, and he's like, stay on the phone with me. There's definitely someone in your house. Everything in her heart sunk, because now what she thought she's been dreaming of, she's terrified because it's real. And she couldn't help but notice it. And so she creeps over to the door. She's being quiet, and she opens the door, and she would look. And she looked, and she said, I could see him. And he said, hide. And she would close the door, and she would slowly slide the dresser in front of it. And when she slides the dresser in front of the room door, she'll go over into the corner, and she'll sit down, and she'll ball up in the corner. But what she don't know is that the guy heard her slide dresser, and he would grab a kitchen knife. He would go running up the steps, and now she can hear him, and he goes over to the door banging. The brother sees it, and he says, stay on the phone. He said, don't get off the phone, I'm coming. And he goes running across the field. Now he's jetting there because he says, it looked like he's coming up the steps to you. And now she's terrified because she knows he's coming up the steps, and he's scared, and she's scared, and he's trying to hurry up and get in there. So he jumps across the yard, he goes through the back door, he like props it open, and he comes rushing in down there, and he wham, and he hits the guy, and then the guy goes flying backwards. Then he kicked the guy, and all she can hear in her room is all this tussling going on there. So she know her brother's in there, and she know this fight is happening, and they just go back and forth, blow to blow. And before you know it, the brother gets the best of this guy and sits him down, calls the police, and then before you know it, there's a bunch of blue lights and red lights, and they're all coming down the street, and she comes out of the room, and she's terrified, and she sits in the back of the car, and as the police is dragging this man out of the house, she just looks out the window with a stuck face like, oh my God, this man has been living in my house. And when the police went to investigate and asked this guy, what was he doing in his house? He said, I thought the house was vacant. And that's why you should never sleep with the lights off. Because he thought the house was vacant. And then when he found out that she always just comes in every day and she goes in and go sleep, he's like, well, it's too late. I already kind of got comfortable being here at nighttime. So he just stood. But if you guys are into these type of stories, smash the like button. And that's going to do it, guys. See y'all. Make sure you subscribe and check out my other videos.